Does your work desk double as an art desk? Do you have to clear everything off from your workspace to transform it into a creative space? Well, let me help. I've got some suggestions for you. My name is Tabitha, and I am a teaching artist, and I teach primarily over Zoom. And I live in a one-bedroom apartment. My work desk is my art desk, my teaching desk. It's kind of everything. I do it all in a very small space. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks that I've learned over the years to give you some ideas about how to make the most of this transition. And I think the key is being able to have a quick, easy transition, which means having systems in place and containers, the right containers to put things in to make that transition smooth. So here we go. All right, here is my desk turned art table, and I've got a couple of things to point out to you here. And the first one is this cup holder that you'll see attached to my desk hanging off the edge of it, and I've got a lot to say about that, so I'm actually going to do a separate video about that and paint water generally. Lots to say. The second thing is that you really need to get your electronics off of your desk or up from your desk. So I have this riser, and it just keeps my computer elevated, so if I do happen to spill something, it's not going to get on anything. And the other thing that happens with this riser is that I can put all my work stuff underneath it, or a bunch of work stuff. Now you see I do have my keyboard under there, but I've never really spilled anything, so I'm not too worried about it, but you never know. So if I'm painting flat, I've got my palette here on the right next to whatever I'm working on. And if I would rather work upright, I've got this tabletop easel that allows me to do so. And it's really nice and portable. Also very, very important, I've got canvas on my table. So this is a painter's drop cloth, as in a house painter's drop cloth that's been well used. I'm going to get a new one soon. This serves several purposes. So like I said, this is a house painter's canvas drop cloth that I cut up into many sections. Now, the reasons that you want this as opposed to something else, clearly you want to have your desk covered, you want to not have paint on your desk probably, but also the canvas serves as something that's going to not be slippery, like my glass of water won't slip around on it very easily like plastic would. Also, if you have a little bit of overspill with plastic, it's going to run off over onto your desk. So the canvas will absorb it. And if you do it 2 layers thick, it's even better. I also love the fact that I can wipe my brush on this canvas. You might not want to do that. That might be too messy for you. I don't know. How messy and creative are you? I do think the two are connected, frankly. And I like to cover as much of my desk with this as I can, because then I don't have to worry. So the first thing you're going to want to do, clearly, is to get all of your work stuff off of your desk. And man, if you paint every evening or every morning, every day, whenever, you can get super organized by having to clear off your work desk every day. I've got this riser that I can put my work stuff underneath. And if you're not comfortable with that because you're afraid of spills or something, then you can, of course, take your work stuff off of your desk and put it someplace else. I recommend just having a bin for your work stuff. It makes life super easy when you have everything together and you don't have to go searching for it. So once I'm done painting here, it's really easy cleanup. So if I've got this easel, for instance, I like this one in particular because it folds up like this into a very manageable size. I don't have to reconnect a tray or anything. It's just easy, and it can just set in the corner, or whatever bin you have. If you have a big enough bin, you can just put this in with the rest of your art supplies. This is a palette pad. I recommend a palette pad, especially this brand I really like. I'll put a link to it in the description. But what's beautiful about a palette pad is that once you're done with it, you can just take it and toss it. And here's an extra tip for you. If your paint is still wet and you've got a decent amount, if you fold it over, stick it in a baggie, stick it in the fridge, It might stay fresh for your next painting session. So you're done painting, you've thrown away your palette paper, you can dump your water and roll up or fold up the canvas that's covering the table. Now you need something to put it in. And I'm just going to show you this bin that I love. There's the side view. It's not big enough to hold the easel, but it holds a whole lot of stuff and it's really super handy. And I like these bins that have these snap lids and something to carry, a handle to carry it with. So inside of here, you can fit a bunch of paints. It's long enough for the long brushes and big enough for a decent amount of paint. Now, a word on the paint. I've got a ton of paint and I've got them in drawers behind me. I can do another video another time if anyone wants to see my full system. But if I were doing this just as an occasional painter or as not as a teaching artist, if this were not my business, I might have a bin with all of my paints in it. Just pull out what you need. You know, have the bin at your feet and just pull out a few tubes of what you need, and you can always go searching for more. But you don't need to have everything out on your desk all at once. Let's keep it as clear as we can and make it comfortable and ergonomic. So this comes out and ooh, look at that. We have this whole other section in here. So this size is great for these small canvases that I work with. And if you're working on a desk, you're probably working fairly small. So this is a 9 by 12 canvas. And this is a 9 by 12 mixed media pad, which is a little bit bigger because of the spiral, but it would fit in there if I had it in there diagonally. So this will lie flat in there. You can put your current project in there if it's small enough and all your other stuff. So yeah, when you're done, you can fold up your canvas, put it right in here, put your palette paper in there, then your current project. And you just have to make sure this is floating above it and not getting a bunch of paint on the bottom of that. And mine is in the clear. If there were paint there, I would be okay. And then whatever paint tubes you're using. Also, this is great for current project, right? If you have a painting that you're working on continually and you have the same palette and you want to keep track of those colors, you can keep your other paints in another bin and keep those colors in a working painting bin, if that makes sense. And then you just put this thing back on there. You might have to rearrange things a little bit to make it all fit in there. I've got too many miscellaneous things in here. But if I didn't have a bunch of oil paints in there, this big tube of acrylics would work. So stick it on there, put it away, and now you're back to your work desk. But I'm going to paint now, so I don't want to put it back to a work desk. All right. I hope good information for you. Like I said, there's links to everything down below. If you have questions, let me know. Let me know what works for you if you've got a different system. It's always good to hear what's working for people and to get new ideas. All right. See you soon.